Good morning, children. Come back to our chapter, comparing quantities using proportions. In that we have finished percentages, profit and loss, and value added tax. Okay, all this we have finished. Now we will see discount and discount related problems we have studied. We have discussed. Now, still two more problems are there in exercise 5.2. So after finishing that, we will learn about the simple interest and compound interest. Let us finish the remaining two problems. Exercise 5.3, 5.2. So here my 15th question is, find the buying price of each of the following items. When a sales tax of 8.5% is added on them. And my first problem is a towel of 50 rupees. A towel of 50 rupees. And second, 2 bars of soap. 2 bars of soap at 35 rupees each. Okay, now observe the given question first. Find the buying price of each of the following items when the sales tax of 8.5% is added on them. Means towel cost is 50 rupees. Means already here sales tax also added. Means this is bill amount. What is the original amount we have to find? Like yesterday's problem only. So once again revise what we discussed yesterday. When tax is added, actually we will get some of the amount to pay actually, and this is original amount, and when tax is added to that, that will be the final amount, bill amount. Yes or no? And here the bill amount is 50 rupees. This one is 50 rupees, and tax amount not given, percentage of tax given. We have to find out original amount like yesterday's problem only. So first of all, find out tax by using the percentage of tax and subtract from the bill amount. We will get the actual amount. So here given, for first problem, given bill amount of towel is equal to 50 rupees. Yes, and value added tax is equal to 8.5%. Therefore, tax, sales tax is equal to 8.5 percentage. But amount they did not give. So what is 8.5 percentage of 50? Find out. That is therefore, this is in percentage. So tax in rupees, tax will be equal to 8.5 percentage of 50 rupees. That is 8.5 by 100 into 50. So 0, this point will get cancelled. 85 5s are. Otherwise, you can go through with cancellation also. 50 ones are, 50 twos are, 2 ones are, 2 fours are 8, 2 twos are 4, 10 2 5s are. 4.25 rupees is tax. Okay. So find the buying price. Therefore, buying price will be equal to buying price of towel is equal to bill amount 50 rupees minus tax is equal to 4.25. So just observe here, both are unlike. When we are doing the subtraction compulsory, we must change them into like. That is 50 we can write as 50.00 and 4.25 we need to subtract. Because here two decimals are there, decimal digits are there. That's why I have placed with the two zeros. Now 10 minus 5 is 5, 9 minus 2 is 7, 9 minus 4 is 5, and 4. 45.75 rupees will be the buying cost of a towel. Cost price of towel is 45.75 and tax is 4.25. Then bill amount is 50 rupees. Okay, I hope you understood now. So second question also same thing, but only one difference is there here. Before that, once again observe the first problem. So here bill amount 50 rupees is given, a towel only for one towel. So tax on that towel is added is 8.5%. So what is that value? Find out. And actual amount we need to find out. So that is bill amount minus tax. That is nothing but 45.75 is the buying amount of the towel. Now coming to the second question. Given 2 bars of soap, means each given 1 bar of soap cost is 35 rupees. Like that 2 bars of soap are there, that means 35 into 2, that is 70 rupees is bill amount. Understand? So given cost of 1 bar of soap is equal to 35 rupees. But in the question given that there is 2 bars of soap, therefore cost of 2 bars of soap is equal to 2 into 35 rupees, that is 70 rupees is bill amount. Now find out the 8.5 percentage tax on 70 rupees. Therefore, tax will be equal to 8.5 percentage of 70 rupees. Okay, then that will be equal to 8.5 by 100 into 70. Okay, 0, 0 will get cancelled. 7 5s are 35, 7 8s are 56, 56 plus 3 is 59. And already one decimal digit is there and one more zero we have. So 2 digits we will get 5.95 rupees. Okay, therefore, original amount, that is buying amount of soap will be equal to, buying price will be equal to 70 rupees minus 5.95. So here again 70 is a whole number part. So 70.00 and 5.95. 10 minus 5 is 5. 9 minus 9 is 0. 9 minus 5 is 4 and 6. 64.05 rupees is the buying cost. I put 2 bars of soap. So just don't confuse. Here for only 1 bar is 35 rupees, but they are given that 2 bars of soap. 2 bars of soap is equal to 2 into 35, that is 70 rupees is the bill amount. Okay, and on that bill amount we need to find out how much tax was paid. So tax is equal to 8.5 percentage of 70 rupees, that will be equal to 5.95. Then the original amount is equal to bill amount minus tax, which is equal to 64.05. That's it. Okay, now observe the last problem process. Observe a super bazaar prices an item in rupees and paisa. Okay, cost price of that item is given in rupees as well as paisa. So that when 4% sales tax is added, means for that amount when sales tax is added, actual amount is in rupees and paisa. When tax is adding, actual amount is represented in terms of rupees and paisa, and when tax is added, no rounding is necessary because the result is exactly in n rupees. That is given in just rupees, that's all, not getting paisa. Now, where n is a positive integer, n value is positive integer, means 1, 2, 3, and so on, any one of the value from this positive integer. Find the smallest value of n. So what will be the value of n? Smallest value. Okay. So for this, I am taking actual amount of the item is x rupees and paisa. That x is represented in rupees as well as paisa. So let the initial value or actual value. The actual price of an item is equal to x rupees and paisa both. So just I am not indicating the units. X I have taken. And after that resultant value is n rupees. So resultant price is equal to, that means bill amount is equal to n rupees. This is given. X is in rupees and a paisa here. Okay, n rupees. Now that much only given, and tax percentage is equal to 4%. So tax percentage is equal to 4%. This tax percent we will check on actual price and then we will add to get excess or no. Otherwise, take the tax percentage on n and subtract from n to get x value like that. So we have actual value plus tax is equal to, we need to pay how much we have to pay, that is resultant value. Bill amount is equal to actual amount and the tax. So here tax 4% is given. What will be the tax we have to find out first. So tax will be equal to 4% of x rupees and paisa. Okay, that means x plus 4% of x will be equal to n rupees. Okay, so by simplifying this, we will get one of the equation. Just observe that x plus 4 by 100 into x is equal to n. That is 100x plus 4 into x is 4x by 100 LCM is equal to n. Go through with the cross multiplication. X is nothing but x by 1. So 100 into x is 100x. 1 into 4 is 4 and x already we have, so 4x. 100 plus 4, 104x in the numerator by 100 is equal to n. Okay. Then by simplifying, x will be equal to n into 100 by 104. See, both will cancel in 4 tables. 4 25 is 100, 4 2 is 8, 24. 4 6 is 24. So x is equal to 25 by 26 into n. See, if n is a factor of 26, then only we will get this one as a terminating decimal or whatever. See, means n is the n value positive integer we must get. So those compulsory the factors of 26. Okay. So therefore n is a factor of, then only we will get it is as a decimal terminating this factor of a of 36. Sorry, 26. So what are the factors of 26? Write down. That means n may be equal to 1 into 26 is 26 and 13 2s are 26. That's all. So these are the 4 factors of 26. And if you are taking n equal to 1, this one you will get non-terminating decimal. If you are taking n equal to 2, then also you will get non-terminating decimal. Either n value 13 or 26. And observe that find the smallest value of n. Among 13 and 26, what will be the smallest value? 13. So n is equal to 13. Therefore, for x to be a terminating decimal, how we can decide terminating or not? When the denominator we can express as 2 or 5 or 2 into 5 form, then only that will be a terminating decimal. If you are writing here 13 2 is 26, 13 is a factor, one of the factors. So what are the factors of 13? If you are removing the 13, this one will become as a terminating decimal. Means either 13 or 26 is possible to take for n. Understand? If you are going through 1 and 2, this in the denominator 13 we can't able to cancel. That's why we will not get that one as a terminating decimal. If we are taking 13 or 26, then only we will get x as the terminating decimal. So for x to be a terminating decimal, n is 13 or 26 we have to select. Okay, n will be 13 or 26. Therefore, smaller value of n is equal to 13. Okay. Once again, observe they are given that actual price is in rupees and paisa and resultant price is in n rupees itself. And when tax is adding, you are getting in rupees. There is no need to round up the given value. So according to the question, actual value plus tax is equal to resultant value. Actual value is x rupees and paisa and 4% tax. When you are adding, you are getting n rupees. By simplifying that, we got x value. Okay. X is equal to 25 by 26 into n. The factors of 26 are the values of n. Then what are the different factors of 26 right down? And if x will be the terminating decimal, that values only we must choose for n. So 1, 2, if you are taking, we are not getting a terminating decimal. So from 13 and 26, if we are taking 13 or 26, we will get x as the terminating decimal. Okay. And they are asking us to find out smallest value. So among 13 and 26, n is equal to 13 is the smaller value. Now coming to the next new topic, that is simple interest and compound interest. Okay. Before going to this, what is meant by interest receivable? See, if you are borrowing amount from anybody, see, you will ask some time to pay that amount as well. And in that time, will you give a same amount to that person? No, we will add somewhat extra amount and we will give to the person who gave the money for us. Yes or no? That extra money is known as interest, and whatever amount we have borrowed, that is known as principal. And after some time, complete amount, complete money will pay to the person. See, if one person is given 1200 rupees borrow, and for 1 month, for suppose, okay, for 1 month, otherwise for 1 year, let it be 1 year, okay, and we will pay some extra amount for that person, that may be 1000 220 rupees. This is amount paid after 1 year, and this is original amount. So now, how much amount you borrowed? Okay, that will be principal. Okay, after some time, you paid some extra, some amount, complete amount with extra money you have paid to the person, and that extra amount plus whatever actual amount is known as amount, principal plus extra amount. And here how much extra amount you have paid? That is 1220 minus 1200. We will get 120 rupees. So this extra amount is known as interest. Okay. So whenever you are borrowing from any bank or any persons or wherever, compulsory we have to pay somewhat extra amount. That extra amount is interest. And how much you borrowed starting, that is principal. How much you are paying with the interest, that is known as amount. And for how much time you are using. So depending on time, we need to calculate this interest. Okay, this interest is of two types, simple interest as well as compound interest. Simple interest in the sense that interest, that amount, for whatever amount you have borrowed, that throughout, for suppose 2 years I have to calculate. Then also that what we will say, interest, how you paid for 1 year, second year also you have to pay same thing. Means this 120 remains the same in case of simple interest. But whereas compound interest, you need to, whatever amount you got, now amount is equal to 1220. For the second year, principal will be changed, this amount will be changed to principal. Means in first case, what we did, how much principal is there, that one only will take for second year also in case of simple interest. But in case of compound interest, this amount will change as principal for the second year, and on this amount we have to calculate the interest. Understand? So compound interest is interest on interest. You will get interest on interest, and whereas simple interest, for any years, principal is same. For that amount only, how much you paid for 1 year interest, that one only will carry on the remaining years also. But whereas for compound interest, that will, you need to pay interest on interest. So here I'll give one question for you, then you will understand easily. And to calculate simple interest and compound interest, we have some formulas. Let us take the example first, after that we will see. Okay, first of all, observe, simple interest formulas are given by, simple interest are simply interest, we can write. Simple interest or interest is equal to PTR by 100. Okay, so first let us take the formulas. compound interest afterwards I'll tell you. Simple interest or interest is equal to PTR by 100. Here P will be principal amount, that is principal amount, that it is given in rupees. Amount no. So principal is in rupees, means how much amount you borrowed, that is principal, actual amount. And it is a time period. This time period always you have to represent in years only. If the time period is given in months, you must transfer it into years. Means for 1 year is equal to 12 months. Then if they are given months, so 1 month will be equal to 1 by 12 years. Means for suppose they are given 6 months, then 6 by 12 years. To translate months, we need to divide with 12 because 1 year is equal to 12 months. Same way, if the time is given in days, for 1 year, how many days we have? 365 days. So whatever value they are given, to translate them into, for suppose 260 days they are given, for suppose. I want to translate them to year. So for 1 year, 365 days are there. So 260 days is equal to 260 by 365 years. Like this. Okay. Almost you will get in year only so many times. Whenever if you are getting in case of months, divide with 12, whatever number they'll give. So here 6 months means 6 by 12. I have divided 6 with 12. If they are mentioned days, so divide with 365. And R is at what rate you are taking that amount, means rate of interest. Rate of interest, and always rate of interest will be represented by using percentile symbol. So if you are getting rupees, that may be principal or amount also. Amount means how much you are paying after some time, that is amount. So amount, by adding for principal, we must add interest to get the amount. Okay. So these are the different terms involved in this formula. And we have the second formula, that amount is equal to principal plus interest. Okay. Principal plus interest. And depending on these two formulas only, we have several formulas. For suppose, if you know, see here how many variables we have. I is equal to PTR by 100. I is a variable, PTR, 4 variables are there. So in that 4, any 3 they'll give, one value we must find. If they are asking to find out I, compulsory they'll mention in the question PTR value. Okay. If they are asking to find out P value, then I, T, R, they will mention in the question. Understand? Same way, amount, if principal is given, then we have to find out interest by using the formula amount minus principal. Okay. If they are asking to find out the amount, compulsory principal plus principal and interest they will give. So then you have to add those two values. If they are asking for principal, subtract the interest from amount. That's all. So here I am not writing remaining formula because we know, see, from the first formula, we can write the formula for principal, that is 100 into I by TR. Yes or no? And fourth formula, for T write down, same thing. T is equal to, from this formula only, 100 into I by PR. Because 100 is in the division, by bringing this side into. Remaining terms, P and R are with the multiplication. By bringing this side, they will become division. So I into 100 divided by, here T I need to find. So remaining two letters, that is P and R, we have to write here. And for fifth problem, fifth formula for R, I into 100 by PT. Okay. And from second formula, we can write the formulas for P and I also. Because here for amount given, we can write for principal as well as interest also. So observe that principal will be equal to amount is the highest value, so amount minus interest, and interest will be equal to amount minus principal. Amount minus principal. So these are the related derivative formulas from these two basic formulas. That's all. So that's why I did not mention this. If you are remembering these two formulas, enough to solve any problem. Okay. Now coming to the formula for compound interest also. So take there are only two formulas like this one only, interest and amount. Instead of that, here we will take first amount, compound interest. So for amount only, amount is given by the formula principal into 1 plus rate of interest by 100 whole to the power of n. Here n is the conversion period. So about this topic we will discuss later on. First we will see about a simple interest. So just note down these formulas and remember. And next second formula is for compound interest, which is given by amount minus principal. Yes or no? Actually, interest is equal to amount minus principal. So amount is P into 1 plus R by 100 whole power n minus principal. That is nothing but principal into 1 plus R by 100 whole power n minus 1. So here I was derivated also. Just remember this final equation. This one. Now coming to the some of the examples and simple interest. Okay, observe one question. A sum of example problem. A sum of 2,500 rupees is borrowed at a rate of 12% per annum. At a rate of 12% per annum for 3 years. Okay. Now, find the simple interest on this sum. Find the simple interest on this sum and also the amount to be paid and also the amount to be paid at the end of 3 years. Okay, observe the given problem. Sum of 2,500 rupees. Sum is nothing but they are given principal. Okay, it is borrowed. So borrowed amount is 2,500. That is principal. At a rate of 12%. Just observe 12% rate. So R value is 12% per annum. Means annum means for 1 year. Okay, per means for annum means 1 year. For 1 year rate of interest is equal to 12% for 3 years. So the time period is given for 3 years. Find the simple interest on this sum. Means we need to find out simple interest as well as amount to be paid at the end of 3 years. Amount also we must find. First of all, from the question, what are the given values, right? So it is very clear that a sum of amount means that is principal given 2,500. Okay, and because already I told you percentile symbol will use for rate of interest. So 12% is the rate of interest per annum. R percentage is equal to 12% per annum in for 1 year. And also given that 3 years time is equal to 3 years. So already I told you if it is not given in the years, we must convert, but already they are given in years. So now very simple, they are asking to find out simple interest. What is the formula of simple interest? I is equal to PTR by 100. Yes or no? Therefore, I value will be equal to P is 2,500 rupees and T is 3 years. R is 12% by 100. 2 zeros will get cancelled. Now, 25 threes are 75 into 12. So, I value will be equal to 12 5 is 60. 12 7 is 84 plus 6, 90, 900. So, interest is 900 rupees. At the end of 3 years, what will be the amount they are asking? Therefore, formula we have, amount is equal to principal plus interest. So, amount is equal to principal amount is 2,500 and principal amount is 900. So, therefore, at the end of 3 years, how much she has to pay? That is 0, 0, 9 plus 5, 14 and 3. 3,400 rupees he must pay at the end of 3 years for the 2,500 rupees. So once again, we observe the question. Whenever you are getting the question compulsory, you will get statements wise only. So read the statement by statement and which values are given, write them. See, sum of the money means that is principal. So principal is equal to 2,500. That is borrowed amount now. So actually how much we are borrowing, that is principal. And rate of interest is 12% per annum. So if you are getting percentile symbol, that is comes under rate of interest. And 3 years. So years is the units of time. So time is given 3 years. Now we need to find out simple interest. So simple interest formula is PTR by 100. Substitute all the values and find out interest, as well as amount to be paid at the end of 3 years. Therefore, amount also they are asking, that is principal plus interest. So this is the value. So for 3 years, interest is 900. Okay. So original amount is 2,500 plus 900 is interest. That's all. Okay, now observe the table. Here some values are missing. Those values we need to find. So observe first column is for principal, and here we have 4 questions. First column is for principal and it is given in rupees. And second is the time, it is given in years. And next rate of interest, that is percentage per annum given. And interest formula also they are given PTR by 100 means simple interest we have to find, and its units are rupees. So observe the first problem. P, T are given. So I value we have to find. So for first problem we have I is equal to PTR by 100. From the table it is very clear that P value is 3000 rupees and T value is 3 and R value is 6 by 100. That's it. These two zeros will get cancelled. 3s are 9, 9 6 are 54. 540 rupees interest. That's it. Here we are getting 540 rupees. So already rupees they have mentioned this. Just write the number. Like that only we must find for second problem also. Second problem, what are the values are given here? Principal not given. We have to find that. So we have the formula for principal I into 100 by TR. Yes or no? So that's all. I value we have 50 into 100 divided by T is 2 and R is 5. 2 into 5. Okay, 2 5s are 10 and 1 0 will get cancelled. 50 into 100 by 10. So 0 0 will get cancelled. 5 into 100 is 500 rupees of principal. So here we are getting 500. Like that only remaining. Here we need to find out T and here R. So for third problem, T value we have to find. So what is the formula for T? I into 100 by PR. If you did not remember this formula, just substitute in the original formula. That's all. So which is equal to I value is 1000. Sorry, I value is 675 into 100 by P value is 1875 into R value is 12. So do the cancellation, you will get sum of the value here. Write down that. And coming to the fourth problem, P given, T given, R not given. So write the formula for R. R is equal to I into 100 by PT. So substitute all the given values. I is 90 into 100 divided by P is 1080 into 2.5. So by simplifying, we will get sum of the answers here. That's all. Okay. So try to do these two problems yourself. So do the calculations, you will get some of the values and write this. So this is about simple interest because they have mentioned I is equal to PTR by 100. So it is a simple interest. So we are using the simple interest formula, and in that case, whatever missing variables are there, that one we need to find. For second case, principal not given. So that's why we are using principal formula as I into 100 by TR. Third question, T not given. So this formula is I into 100 by PR and R is I into 100 by PT. Okay. And in next class, we will discuss about compound interest.